That this centre will service the community of Mitchells Plain. You will know that Mitchells Plain is one of the top 30 stations for crime in the country. So, of course, a much needed year in terms of gender-based violence and the fight against gender-based violence, but also to assist victims of such crimes, sexual-related crimes, to become court-ready. So, in other words, according to the NPA, what happens here is there will be first responders assisting those who need help. Also, social services will be on board, police will be on board, medical examinations will take place here, and if needs be, arrangements made for people who will not be able to return back to their places of residence. Also, those kind of services will be made available here. Now, just a short while ago, the National Director of Public Prosecutions, Shamila Batoy, addressed the opening year, of course, along with the Deputy Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development, Andries Nel. She said that all resources should be, as it had been with the COVID pandemic, pulled together now with the gender-based violence pandemic to deal with this matter. Just to give you some insight into what she's told those attending, that over the past 2 years, there's been an increase in sentencing. So, for example, over the last 2 years, 337 life sentences, 236 sentences of between 20 and 25 years, but saying that, of course, the crimes themselves need to be tackled at grassroots level. And, of course, this is something that the Deputy Minister has also reiterated when he delivered his keynote speech here a short while ago, saying that the socio and economic foundation need to be changed drastically, because we do see that oftentimes the victims of gender-based violence, they of course come from the communities like Mitchells Plain, which has been highlighted here. It's the 10th such Thuthuzela Care Centre in the Western Cape, with 65 now open across the country. We actually had one ward councillor speaking to us earlier, but let me just bring in here the National Director of Public Prosecutions, Shamila Batoy. Good day to you, ma'am. I was just quoting some of the stats you were talking about in terms of life sentences and longer prison sentences, for perpetrators of sexual and gender-based violence. But you were also saying that, as with the COVID pandemic, all resources must be thrown to the pandemic of gender-based violence.
No, absolutely. I mean, we are seeing these longer sentences that are being meted out by the courts, but we are not seeing a reduction in gender-based violence in this country. And as I said, the criminal justice system is not going to solve this problem. The scourge, we call it a scourge, we call it a pandemic, and it is that. But are we actually ensuring that we throw the necessary resources and that we really make it a priority across government to ensure that centres like the Thuthuzela Care Centre are properly staffed, are properly resourced? We're working really well with a number of partners, in particular the Department of Health, the Department of Social Welfare, the various NGOs, CBOs, faith-based organizations, and importantly business, SPA, the Clicks retailers, the Minerals Council, Vodacom, that have all really pooled resources together to try to help support victims of gender-based violence through their recovery journey. So, it's really important that we continue to do this, but the reality is the criminal justice system will not solve this problem. We do what we can to ensure that there's a healing process, there's justice, but we really need communities. We need, to ensure that they are doing what needs to be done to ensure that women, in particular children, under 12, babies, are not violated.
Thank you so much for your time. Of course, the National Director of Public Prosecutions, Shamila Batoy, just highlighting to us the importance of the Thuthuzela Care Centres, but also saying that the criminal justice system alone cannot fight the scourge of GBV.